have a copy of the recording. I don't know, it's doing the same thing to me though. Hey guys, as you're joining us, you can go ahead and access the chat box. And in the chat box, tell us what you dressed up as for Halloween or how did you celebrate this fall holiday weekend, this past weekend. So just go ahead and put that in the chat box. Hey guys, while we're waiting for everybody to join, we'll get kick-started here off in just a minute. But tell us what you did to celebrate the fall holiday weekend this past weekend. If you dressed up for Halloween, went trick-or-treating, got together with friends, let us know what you did. We're getting some good answers. Someone dressed up as a homecoming horror. Annalise had a horse show. Miss Hannah worked a livestock show. Liam and Aaron celebrated with friends. Sawyer dressed up as Donald Trump. And Hannah Ellender went and visited her nanny. That sounds fun. And her grandma. Okay, guys, this meeting is being recorded. We're going to go ahead and get started. I am going to apologize. We're having some technical difficulties here at the 4-H office. We're actually out of internet, so I'm borrowing the internet from the library, but it is not the best quality. I was having a really hard time sharing the sound for some videos that we're going to watch later. So we'll see how it works. Y'all just if you can't hear anything or if you can't see something, y'all just put it in the chat or turn your microphones on and let me know. Throughout the meeting, I will be checking the microphones to make sure that majority of them are off. That just really helps with the feedback during the meeting. But we'll be going back and forth and dropping some links in the chat box and using the chat box in order to correspond with y'all along the way. Okay. I'm pretty sure y'all can see my screen, so if at any time you can't, y'all just give me a holler and let me know. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank y'all for answering in the chat box. And welcome to our November at-large meeting. I am super excited that y'all could join us today for this virtual at-large meeting. Just a little housekeeping things. If you're not used to using Microsoft Teams, if you look up at the top, you'll see a toolbar. To turn your camera on and off, you would just click the camera icon. It does usually work better if you keep your camera off while we're in a meeting and there's so many of us. It just really helps with the bandwidth. But you're more than welcome if you'd like to share your camera, but you don't have to. Again, with your microphone, the same thing. If too many of us keep our microphones on, there's a lot of feedback. But if you would like to say something, just click that microphone icon and you should be able to use it. I'll be the one sharing my screen throughout the meeting just to show y'all a presentation and some videos. And then if you want to raise your hand, you could just click the hand icon. And I'll be able to get a notification that you raised your hand and I'll be able to call on you. Again, normally I would be able to check the chat box at the same time. I am going to just go back and forth a little bit. So y'all just bear with me when it comes to that, okay? Let's see. Just a little bit of virtual meeting etiquette. I ask that you find a quiet place that's distraction free. Make sure your computer's charged. So if you don't have it plugged in at this time, you might want to run and find your charger before we get started too much. Check your technology, make sure you have internet. Ms. Hannah is struggling with that one today. I tried to be really prepared, but that our modem went out here at the 4-H office. So we're just working through that. Be respectful, keep your mic muted when you're not speaking, but if you have something to say, be sure to enable it so we can hear you. Be kind and considerate, participate with us, be focused, attentive, active. Speak clearly if you enable your mic, look into the camera if you turn your camera on, that way we can see that you're looking at us when you're presenting. And then if you have a 4-H shirt on, show us your 4-H pride, dress appropriately. We love to see all y'all's 4-H shirts. So would anyone like to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance or 4-H pledge? Any takers? If not, I'll go ahead and lead us today. So if y'all want to stand up for the pledges. There we go. Okay. I'm going to enable it back on the screen, but we can stand up for the pledges today. Awesome. Okay. So I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible with liberty and justice for all. And now for the 4-H pledge, I pledge my head to clearer thinking, my heart to greater loyalty, my hands to larger service, and my health to better living. For my club, my community, my country, and my world. Bless you. Thank you. Okay, so welcome to St. Martin Parish 4-H. We are so glad that y'all are here for our at-large meeting. I hope and dream and think about the days where we can all be together for our 4-H meetings. But until then, thank y'all for joining us for our virtual meeting. So we'll go ahead and get started. Let's see. Here we go. So I'm assuming most of y'all have signed up for 4-H because you are here at our meeting, right? So if you have not enrolled in 4-H, that's something that you should take care of here. That way you can get on our list. So in order to enroll, we did have a couple different ways that you could take care of that. You could enroll online using the link lsuagcenter.com /4H enroll. So I'm going to go ahead and drop that link in the chat. If you enrolled online, this is a reminder that you should have either dropped off or mailed your 4-H dues of $10 to the 4-H office. If this is your first 4-H meeting, we are located, or just your first year, we're located next to the public library, next across the street from H&R Block, not far from the donut shop in Brobridge. We are the St. Martin Parish Extension Office, and 4-H is located in there. Members at large are students who, this group or club is open to students who attend the St. Martin Parish Virtual Learning Program. If you're homeschooled, if you attend school in another parish, if they do not currently have a 4-H club at your school, or you have no other opportunity to join 4-H. So we're really glad y'all are here. Just remember to enroll and to pay your dues whenever you get a chance. And again, dues are $10. This is new and different this year. Normally at our November club meetings, we would hand out your project books. Since we are doing virtual meetings, we're going to do a project book pickup on November 12th from 3 to 5. So on that afternoon, it's a Thursday afternoon, Miss Hope and I will be here at the 4-H office waiting by the door to just hand y'all your 4-H book. So we'll actually be here later that night. So if you do have any questions or anything, you can stop by that afternoon. It's just kind of like a little free afternoon where we'll be here ready to hand y'all's project books and also give back like your portfolios and other things from last year. So we'll have all of your project books that day. So just to give y'all a heads up, project books for your, if you're a new member, your project book is going to be a workbook that you get that you can kind of work through this year. Third graders get a Cloverbud guide. Our fourth graders are going to get a Discovering the World of 4-H book, which is really like an introduction to the different 4-H activities. And then fifth graders are able to get the Exploring the World of 4-H book. And then 6th through 12th graders get to pick their topic. So that's pretty fun if you are in those grade levels and you got to pick that topic for your project book. So that is going to be on November 12th from 3 to 5 p.m. Now, if you can't make it that day, just give us a call here at the office and you can come either the day before or day after next week, whatever it is, and get your project books. We just want to be able to get those books to y'all before the holidays. We are going to get started with this video. I am going to, hopefully it's going to show the sound, but I can't check the chat. So is Allie? Yeah. Allie Fontenot, I'm going to ask you to please text me if you cannot hear the video once it starts. I hope she heard that.
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Awesome. Thank you. Special club meeting program. This month, we're going to be learning all about playful pets. Having a pet to come home to at the end of a day is something we can really look forward to. A pet can be a special friend to anyone. Owning and caring for your pet is an important responsibility, so you must make sure it's properly fed, has a clean and comfortable place to sleep, and has necessary health care. To get started, let's do this fun activity. Can you guess what the baby animal names are next to these adult pets? Feel free to pause your video while you think it through. We have a word bank here on the screen. I hope you had a moment to guess. Now Miss Hannah is going to give you the answers. A baby dog is called a puppy. A baby cat is called a kitten. A baby bird is called a chick. A baby turtle is called a hatchling. A baby rabbit is called a bunny. A baby horse is called a foal. A baby fish is called a fry. A baby gerbil is called a pup. And a baby ferret is called a kit. Did you know that has a pink, which has a black tongue? Did you know that a cat can jump as much as 7 times its height? And did you know that dogs can donate blood to other dogs and cats? Something we like to focus on in 4-H is citizenship and being of service to our community. Here's some ideas for you to be of service with your pets. Offer to walk your neighbor's dog, volunteer to pet sit for someone else, or take the time to help a senior bathe their pet. Here's a great way to get moving. Remember, kids your age should have at least 60 minutes of physical activity each day. You can pretend to be a pet. So with a group of friends, maybe during recess or when you get home with brothers and sisters, pretend to imitate how pets move, sound, and act. You can pounce like a cat, slither like a lizard, push a stick like a dog, soar like a bird, run like a hamster, have very poor eyesight and use sense of their smell, and swim like a fish. Doesn't this sound fun? Many of you have pets. By taking the time to take care of them, you're learning many different life skills. Caring for your pet involves a lot of responsibility, like remembering to feed and water it every day, playing and loving your pet, and taking it to the vet, just like mom or dad take you to the doctor for your checkups or when you're sick. Pets have a really good or keen sense of smell. Test your pet by hiding a treat and seeing if your pet can locate it. This paragraph here at the bottom is an English language arts test. Can you find the 6 mistakes? Feel free to pause your video and try your best at proofreading. Looking for a fun science activity? The supplies you'll need to complete this activity is a pen or pencil, a piece of paper, 1 feather, 1 6-inch piece of yarn, 1 tennis ball, 1 rubber ball, 1 pet collar, and 1 pet leash. Even if you don't have all of these supplies, you can even do it test 1, 2, or 3. If you have them all at home, great, you can do all 3 tests. Guess which of these items will fall the fastest when dropped from a standing position. Record your guess on your piece of paper before trying the experiment, and then record the result. How many did you get right? Want to make dog bones at home? Check out this yummy recipe. It only uses peanut butter, non-fat dry milk, and graham crackers along with honey. Combine all the ingredients together, divide the dough into 6 pieces, and mold each into the shape of a dog bone. It's a pretty sticky recipe, but could be really fun. Sprinkle the graham crackers at the end and store in a covered container in the fridge. That's all we have for this month's special club meeting program. I hope you enjoyed Playful Pets. Okay, guys, so that's just a little introduction, an overview of our Cloverbud, which is our 3rd grade members. Educational program for this month, they're focusing on playful pets. And then when we move on to our special program especially for our 4th through 6th graders, this month is all about eggs. So have you ever wondered how eggs can start out as a liquid and then when they're cooked, they turn to a solid? Have you ever questioned why so many recipes use eggs? Eggs have special properties that make them unique and interesting in food science. So let's explore. Eggs are really good for your body. Does anyone know what MyPlate food group eggs fit into? And you can either type it in the chat or enable your microphone. Does anyone know which MyPlate food group eggs fit into? So eggs are super healthy. The MyPlate food groups that we have are grains, vegetables, fruit, dairy, and proteins. Which of those do you think eggs fit into? Proteins. Good job, Hannah. Good job. So eggs fit into the protein group, and they're a super high quality protein. This means that they're one of the best protein foods for building strong muscles and keeping you full and healthy. They can even help with brain function and eye health. Eggs are a really fantastic food. Okay, we have a short little video that's going to showcase some eggs. I like to boil eggs, but that video sure made it look easy. What are your favorite ways to eat eggs? I know I had boiled eggs this morning, but I looked a little rougher peeling them than in that video. My husband and son like to eat fried eggs. How do y'all like to eat eggs? What are your favorite ways? Fried or scrambled? Do you like to eat them poached or baked or fried with grits? Anyone wants to share? Okay, thank you for sharing with us, Hannah. So there are many different parts of an egg, and here's just a little picture showing you all the parts. So the big yellow part is called the yolk, and then we know that the outer part is called the shell, and egg white is actually called the albumin. So a lot of times when we just talk about eating eggs, we eat the yolks, the whites, but the white part's actually called the albumin. And there's a membrane in between the albumin and the shell, and that's called the shell membrane. So just some cool parts to think about whenever you think about the parts of an egg. Okay, so to check the freshness of an egg, you can break the egg onto a plate and firstly check out the yolk. A fresh egg's yolk will be wonderfully plump and sit up proud from its white. A stale egg yolk will sit flat and look a little deflated and flabby. It's not much good for anything and definitely not good for poaching. So looking at these two eggs, which one do you think is fresher, A or B? Which one do you think is fresher, A or B? B, good job. So we can see that B is fresher because it's more plump. The albumin or the egg white isn't as watery, and it's sitting up higher on the yolk is sitting up higher on the white. So if you're ever wondering like, ooh, maybe these eggs have been in my fridge for too long, you can always crack one open on a clean plate and you can check it by seeing how plump it is, or if it's watery like egg A. So egg A is probably a little too watery. You probably should not eat that one. Okay, one more quick little video for y'all. Okay, so we're going to take a little moment, and can you tell me in the chat box what's one thing you learned today from this egg lesson, and what's one way you'll use this information in real life? So we'll take a minute. If everyone could answer those questions real quick in the chat, what's one thing you learned today, or how will you use this information in real life? And we're talking about the egg lesson. So if you like learning about eggs today, you might want to compete in the egg demonstration contest. It's a contest where you can prepare an egg dish like an egg casserole, or even a dessert that uses eggs like a custard. And in this contest, you would bring your dish and show how you know all about eggs. It's a statewide contest. It takes place in February. I believe this year it got pushed back to March. But we also have a parish contest where you could do a demonstration and talk about eggs or any other topic you'd like. And that happens at Super Saturday, which is going to be the first weekend of February. So if you do well in this contest, as you get older, you could win a trip to Kentucky to compete on a national level. So it's a pretty cool opportunity. And that's our Egg Ambassador Talk, is what that's called. So I hope everyone took a little minute to tell me one thing they learned today and put that in the chat box and tell us one way that they'll use this information in real life. So this is our special program that's especially geared towards our 7th through 12th graders. And many of y'all have been at large before, but you know, if you've been in 4-H before this in another club, we always do educational programs that are geared towards our students in different grade levels. But because in Members at Large Club, we have students in so many different grades, we just do all of the educational programs. So y'all get to see a little bit of everything. So let's take a vote. If you could use the chat box and tell me if you've ever been in a car accident. Type yes if you've ever been in a car accident, or type no if you've never been in a car accident. Type yes or no. Do you know how to check your oil and washer fluid in your car? Do you know how to check your oil and washer fluid in your car? Yes or no? Do you know how to inflate your tires on your car? Yes or no? Awesome. Thank y'all so much. It's so much more fun when you answer back in the chat. I get to see those coming across, those answers coming across. So if you took driver's ed and you passed, then you learned some basics of driving a vehicle. Today's lesson is going to help you go beyond the basics. So while you may not care about how the car works, there's many things you need to know about being safe on the road and avoiding costly repairs. While 76% of teenagers ages 15 to 17 are confident they fully understand the financial responsibilities of owning a car, 85% of parents with 15 to 17-year-old teenagers disagree. This may lie in the fact that 86% of teens feel that parents should help them with automobile expenses such as insurance, repairs, and gas, while 91% of parents believe that that assistance is unreasonable. So what are some things that you should do every time you get into your vehicle? Any ideas? What are some things that you should do every time you get into your vehicle? You can either turn your mics on, guys, or you can put it in the chat. Put your seatbelt on. Oh, that's a good one, Hannah. Go ahead, Annalise.
Make sure your car is in park.
Awesome. Good one. Make sure your car's in park. Put your seatbelt on. Before you even get in your car, you can walk around in a 360-degree circle to check your car for any damage, check your tires, check your inspection stickers, see if anyone broke into your car or if there's someone hiding in the back seat, check for animals or children or children's toys around your car. And then once you get in your car, you should lock your doors, monitor the gauges on the dashboard, check your fuel gauge, check all your mirrors, adjust your seat, buckle up, put away your smartphone. You should frequently look at your spare tire and make sure that it's in good working condition. And there's 3 things that everyone needs in their car, and those are your license, your insurance, and your registration. These things may seem redundant, but they can save you from car trouble and can save your life. Safety first, always. So a big component in car care and maintaining your car is going to be checking on your tires, right? We can't get very far without our tires. So using a tire pressure gauge is a good idea. Remember that nothing lasts forever, so you need to replace your tires a few times or more throughout the life of a typical vehicle. Proper maintenance and responsible driving can maximize the mileage in a set of tires. The tire pressure monitoring system in new vehicles that monitors the tire air pressure and alerts you when it's dangerously low will not alert you if your tire's overinflated. And then the recommendation for inflation is found on the door sticker. Maximum tire pressure is the information on the tire itself. So don't inflate past the maximum tire pressure. Even properly maintained tires, or when tires are properly maintained, they'll be even wear across the tire. So we're going to check out this our last video, y'all know, I'm sure. I hope y'all like them because I think they're better than just Miss Hannah talking. But this video is going to show us how to read a tire size and understand a tire sidewall. So I thought this was super cool. Something to know whenever this recently came up when me and my mom was trying to order some tires for a car, and they asked her what size it was, and she was like, it's on a Honda, and that's not the tire size. So this was cool to see. So I thought I'd share with y'all.
Hi, Tak here, field engineer for Toyo Tires. I'd like to go over some of the key features on the sidewall of this tire. First is the tire size. This tire, for example, is a 255, 55, or 18 109V. The 255 represents the tire's section width. The 55 represents the tire's aspect ratio. R stands for radial in tire construction, and 18 represents the wheel diameter in inches. The 109 is the load index, which represents a tire's maximum load carrying capacity at maximum inflation pressure. V represents the speed rating, which is the maximum speed capability of the tire. Next, I'd like to go over the DOT, or Department of Transportation serial number, or TIN, tire identification number for this tire. The CX represents the factory code. This is where the tire was produced. The 91 represents the size code. For this tire, it's a 255/55 R18. The XX3 represents the option code. Some manufacturers might use 4 alphanumeric characters in this place. And the last 4 represents the week and year of production. This tire, for example, was produced in the 13th week of 2009. Another marking I'd like to identify is maximum tire load carrying capacity at maximum inflation pressure. This tire, for example, shows maximum load of 2,271 pounds at 50 PSI. This pressure here is not necessarily what the tire should be set at. Please follow the vehicle manufacturer's recommended tire pressure setting. There you have it. Now you know how to read your tires.
Okay, so now I hope we all just learned something super new. That was definitely new for Miss Hannah. So one more time in the chat box. I know we didn't get too many answers last time, but this really helps us whenever we are evaluating our lessons to see if y'all like them or not, if you learned something. So if you could please tell us in the chat box what's something you learned today, and then how will you use this information in real life. So this can be about the egg lesson or about the tire lesson. So what did you learn today, and how will you use this information in real life? So I'll give y'all just a minute or so to do that. I'm going to ask everyone to please help us out by answering those questions. So if y'all could take a minute in the chat box, what's something you learned today? And how will you use it in real life? What's something you learned today, and how will you use it in real life? Come on, Isabel, Allie, John. Hannah's doing a great job. Annalise, Liam, Aaron, Sawyer. I believe that's the rest of the Ellender family. I really appreciate it. Okay. So while y'all are getting those answers in, we're going to go back to our presentation, but you can still put your answers in the chat, and I'll just go through them later. So something you learned and how you'll use it in real life. I just put a big set of links in there, and that is going to be the links to your monthly monthly newsletter. So just as a reminder, I will email out tomorrow all of the links from this meeting. I'll put in an email recording in case someone missed it. And then I'll also will have the links to the newsletters and other information in that email. Each month we do a monthly trivia contest, and then you have an option to win a prize by entering in the trivia contest. So the Cloverbud trivia question, and this is for our 3rd graders. Every known dog has a pink tongue except one. Which breed of dog has a black tongue? And if you were paying attention earlier today, you would have heard the answer. Also, the information can be found in your newsletter. 4th through 6th graders, your question is which egg is fresher, A or B? And then 7th through 12th graders, your question is how can you determine the size of your tire as well as the maximum load for that particular tire? And if you want to take those answers, you have until November 20th, and you can email those in to stmartin4h@yahoo.com. And that can also be found in your newsletter. Here's the links for your monthly newsletter. Again, I put those in the chat as well. So if you have any questions about that newsletter, or you want more information on anything, we hit some of the highlights during today's meeting. But there'll definitely be more information in those newsletters. So those links are in the chat, and they'll also go out to you in an email tomorrow. Okay, we have our first big contest day of the year coming up. It's a virtual contest day, and entries are due to stmartin4h@yahoo.com by November 7th at 12 noon. So we're going to have 3 different categories: a virtual pet show, a 4-H chef contest, and a pumpkin decorating contest. So for these contests, there's specific rules for each one. But for the pumpkin decorating contest, we ask that you send an email to stmartin4h@yahoo.com. In the subject line, put pumpkin decorating contest, and then within the email, include your name, your 4-H club, which is member at large, and which category you'd like to enter. So we have animal pumpkin category, Louisiana commodity, celebrity lookalike, and team spirit. These can be decorated or carved. So if you have any pumpkins that you decorated or carved for Halloween, or getting ready for Thanksgiving, or those fall celebrations, you can definitely take pictures of those. I'd love to see the 4-H member in the picture with your decorated or carved pumpkin. For the 4-H virtual pet show, there is a dog and owner lookalike contest, same for cat and any other pet. And then for smallest and largest cats and dogs, and any other pet, we're asking that you take a picture of the 4-H member with the pet holding the ruler or measuring tape. Same thing, entries are due November 7th at noon. Put pet show in the subject line. I'd love to see the 4-H member in those pictures too. And you can do multiple entries. You can put them all in the same email. You can put them in separate emails, whatever works best for y'all. We'd love to get some more of those entries in. This is a new contest. If you've been in 4-H before, you know that we've done cookery contests. But in order to just kind of keep up with the times a little bit, we decided to make that a virtual experience, right? So it's a 4-H chef contest. There's a ground beef, a sugar, and an edible art division. This is an example of what an entry would look like for the 4-H chef contest. And we're going to pretend that this little boy here is a 4-H member, which he's not yet, but hopefully one day. And for this 4-H chef contest, it's super new. That's why I wanted to post an example, but we're asking for a copy of the recipe and then pictures that tell the story of how you made that dish, okay? It can be as few as 3 pictures, or if you'd like to send in a video of you making that dish, that is perfectly acceptable as well. So as we see, we have a picture of the ingredients. We mixed the ingredients together and stirred it, or as my little boy says, he likes to stir. Never just one stir, always a stir. And then we cooked them on a griddle, and then we served breakfast. So this is just a little example of what we're looking for in the 4-H chef contest. Again, these entries are due November 7th at noon. And I hope we had a lot of fun just doing this real quick one morning, my son and I. So I hope that y'all will maybe look into it for you and your families as well. Again, there's an edible art division, a ground beef division, and a sugar division. Okay, so 4-H Fun Day is coming up. I'm super excited about this. We'll be able to offer it at Breaux Bridge High School in the gym. Tuesday, November 24th. That's a Tuesday before Thanksgiving from 9 to 11 in the morning. We're going to have tons of different activities going on. We will adhere to local recommendations on social distancing and wearing masks. We're going to get kicked off with introductions and then fun sessions. This year's sessions are going to be Cars Fitness Speedway, Veggie Avengers, Pirates of the Caribbean, Scavenger Hunt, Monsters U, Fitness Leaders, and Germs, Let It Go, Frozen style, Germs. This event is open for 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th graders. Our junior leader members will be helping out. I am going to swap the screen real quick. We are asking y'all to pre-register. That way we have an idea of who will be attending. That way we have a head count. Let's see. Here we go. It's a Sign Up Genius to sign up. It is free to attend. I did just drop the link in the chats for you to sign up. Okay. Annalise, do you have another question? Or was your hand raised from earlier? If you have a question, just raise your hand again or turn your mic on. We can visit. Okay, so 4-H Fun Day is coming up soon. So just an update on shooting sports. If you filled out your enrollment card and indicated you were interested in shooting sports, then you should have received a mail in the packet. A packet in the mail. Our open house is going to be this weekend. So if you're still looking for more information on shooting sports, on Sunday, November 8th from 1 to 2:30 at the barn behind Breaux Bridge High School, we're going to be having an open house where you can meet the instructors, find out what equipment's needed, ask questions, find out more about becoming a coach, a certified instructor or a coach. If you're a parent, if you have your registration forms and fees, you can turn them ready. You can turn them in to us on Sunday while we're there. If not, you can get them to the 4-H office here in Breaux Bridge. So you can come by and visit. There are some different age requirements depending on the different disciplines, but this is a good way to get to be able to see the different equipment and really find out a little bit more if you're interested in shooting sports and have some questions. We are approaching a turning point in our livestock program where possession dates and validations are due. If you are planning on showing any livestock animal, you should have reached out to the 4-H office already. Validation and DNA kits are ready for pickup now. They are due tomorrow for market lambs, market goats, commercial sheep, commercial does, and commercial dairy and beef heifers. Market swine and commercial gilt DNA kits are going to be due back to the 4-H office by December 4th, and those can be picked up at the 4-H office as well. So if you have any questions about that, just give me a holler, reach out. You can either email me or call, or we can talk here on this call as well. So the DNA is due back with the $7 fee. Junior Leaders is our leadership program open to 7th through 12th graders. Our next meeting is going to be held on Monday, November 30th. It will start at 5:30. You can scan this QR code to sign up online for Junior Leaders. They do have an additional set of dues for $10. We are working really hard to have an in-person meeting in November. We will not have our Thanksgiving feast. I know that is disappointing, but we're working hard. We are hoping that there will be some, changes to the mandates in which we can do that. But if not, we will have another virtual meeting for Junior Leaders, and we'll try to make it as fun as possible and a great time. Just a reminder, we're currently selling 4-H commodity sale. This is a fundraiser for St. Martin Parish 4-H. We're selling sweet potatoes in 10 and 40-pound boxes, raw pecans in a 3-pound box or 1-pound bag, and then gourmet pecans that are either sugared, roasted, or chocolate covered. All are delicious, I promise you. And then Praline Crunch is super, super good. It's like a topping for pretty much anything. Oatmeal, cheesecake, ice cream, sweet potato casserole is delicious. So if you'd like to order some, you can find an order form link in your newsletter, or you can stop by the 4-H office and fill out a form, drop off your money, all those kinds of things. Any questions, guys? I know that was a lot of information. I tried to not go over on time, so we have a little time for questions. Anybody? Questions, comments, or concerns? If you didn't do so already, if you could go ahead and tell us in the link in the chat, one thing you learned today, and one way that you'll use it in real life. That would be awesome. But y'all, if there's no questions, that's all I have for y'all. Again, don't forget that your project book pickup is going to be a week from today, from 3 to 5 here at the 4-H office. So you can swing by after school. Awesome. Learned about tires. Perfect. Okay, guys, that's all I have for y'all. Thank y'all so much for being on the call. If y'all don't have any questions, then you're free to go. Thank you so much. The meeting is adjourned. Isabel, is this Isabel Couvion? Is that right? Isabel Couvion? Yes, hey girl. I got to see your mom yesterday and your sister and your dad, but not you. So that was sad. But I'm glad you were on the call today. Hey, Liam and Aaron. Allie, we are not doing officer elections until we can meet in person, and here's why. I am super certain that doing virtual meetings, it would be really hard for y'all to do your officer jobs virtually. We're seeing that in our junior leader club, and those are all high schoolers. So my plan next month, if we meet virtually again, is to do a better job at letting y'all lead the pledges, at least to get some leadership experience. But we're struggling with it in junior leaders, and those kids have, are all older. So I think that it would be really hard to do it virtual officers from a distance for at large. But whenever we meet in person, we can do that. Thank you, Allie. Liam and Aaron, I saw that y'all signed out and signed back in, but y'all have any questions for us? Sawyer, do you have any questions for Miss Hannah?
No, ma'am.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today. If y'all don't have any questions, y'all can go ahead and sign out. Liam and Aaron, do y'all have any questions for us?